Welcome back to another video. We are getting extremely close to being done with planting cotton in this area. We are just about done. We're working on the last two fields right now. I'm just working on the one field where I'm trying to empty out my planter as much as possible. So I'm just watching my gauges here, or not gauges, I'm watching my lines, waiting until one of them runs out of seed. And once one of them runs out of seed, we're gonna empty out all the boxes completely. And then we're gonna do another test plot, just like we did last year. We will do 6 rows because we are picking this with a cotton picker, and those are six row pickers. We will do 6 rows. Yeah, it's a 16 row planter, so it doesn't come out perfectly. You just have to have 6, 6, and then 4. And then you have to come back. The next one you have to do 2 with the same varieties you did the 4 previously. It works, it's a little complicated, but it works. We're doing another test plot today. Last year we did Next Gen, Stoneville, Delta Pine, all those dicamba ready varieties. This year we're doing 2,4-D varieties, which I think it's only Phytogen. I haven't talked to them just yet. They actually just showed up here, so they're waiting for me to run out of seed. We're doing Phytogen. I think it's gonna be mostly Phytogen that we're gonna be planting on this test plot. It's gonna be a lot of varieties, so we'll be able to definitely see which one did the best. Last year we got a really good result. Some of the Stoneville actually did really good. We were very surprised about that. It didn't yield the highest, but it graded the best, I believe. And then some of the other highest yielding ones was a Delta Pine 1828, I almost want to say. Don't quote me on it, I will have to look it up because it's been a while. But I'll put it in the video and you'll be able to see what variety the best one of the Delta Pine. But yeah, I think I see one row that's already hovering below the line, so that one's going to be out of seed here pretty soon, I think. So after I run out of seed, we'll get to it. Alright, I just looked it up. It's the Delta Pine 1820. I don't quite remember what I said earlier. I might have said 1828, but no, it's Delta Pine 1820. That was the best Delta Pine variety last year. So their Phytogen has really good varieties. They're known for yielding very high, so I'm kind of curious to see which is the best one. They claim their best one, I believe, is the Phytogen 332. So I'm kind of curious. I think that one's going to be in the test plot too, but we're going to see which one is truly the best variety, because we have a lot of water out here and it usually yields very well. We get I would say average 5 to 6 bale per acre on this cotton, so we're looking for really high yielding cotton. That's kind of what we're aiming towards. We're not looking for cotton that can handle drought. It's not drought tolerant cotton, because out here there's enough water where it's not going to have drought. So we're looking for some really good high yielding cotton. That's what we're in the market for. And it's already starting to look like a colorful rainbow again. We love to see it. All the different varieties. And turns out Phytogen is the only company making 2,4-D ready cotton, so that's all that we're gonna be planting in this test plot, which I guess they got the good side of the market for that if they're always planting, or if they're the only ones that have 2,4-D ready cotton. We personally love it. We love switching back and forth between 2,4-D ready cotton and dicamba ready cotton. That way we can kill off all the volunteer cotton from the previous year. Last year we had the dicamba ready cotton, and now we can just come over it with 2,4-D, kill off all the old cotton, not have to worry about any other plants in the middle leaching off from the plants that we're actually wanting to grow. So for us it's really beneficial. We prefer to do it like that, to kind of switch back and forth if we can. It really saves a lot on getting rid of volunteer cotton, because volunteer cotton is essentially just a weed, and you can't harvest it, and it just leaches away all the fertilizer, nutrients, and water from the other plants. So it's literally a pointless plant. Getting pretty close to that done mark in this area anyway. Doing second last pass, and then I will be done here. And then the other planter has about I think about 60 acres left to do on that field over there. Then he's going to be done over there. And the plan was to show y'all guys how we load these planters up and ship them back over to our main farm, because this is technically our second farm. We have 2 locations, but it sounds like I might just be going home today yet. It's like a 2.5 hour drive, 3 hours if you don't speed, I guess. So 2.5 hours. That's about a 2.5 hour drive normally, I think. It's not too bad drive anyway, but if I finish, it's about 5:30 now. If I finish within another 20 minutes, hopefully I'll be home by 8 o'clock. So, not bad. I'll still be able to get home, and then tomorrow, I believe both of our semis, 2 of them, they're gonna come this way, load up both planters. They'll bring them that way, and then one semi will have to come back to load up this tractor. This tractor has to go with 2 because this is the one that connects to this planter. That tractor, however, has been causing issues and they need it here. So we're gonna have to just hook that planter up to a different tractor, even though it's already ready for that tractor. I believe that's what we're doing. They might change their mind and ship that tractor that way too, but it's very unlikely. We have enough tractors over there to hook up to both planters if we take this one, that is. So that's the plan anyway. I don't know if I'll be able to show it how we load them up and haul them that way, but I'll still try to do my best. But after these 2 rounds, I'm going home. And we are done. Done planting cotton, which, well, I said we're actually going to plant some cotton later. Back home we're gonna plant some cotton too. After we'll plant the peanuts first, then we'll move on to cotton. But for now I'm done here. I think I'm gonna pack up my things and head home. And I'm just emptying out the front tank. I just turned it on. I just put the maximum amount of pressure, that little clock, little gauge right there. I just turned this dial as max as it could go, because we cannot use this fertilizer with this stuff in it. We can't use it for peanuts, so just driving slowly here right where I planted. It's just, it goes right there where the seed tubes are, so it's just gonna drip it down right on top of the ground, so then it's fine. This little area will just get a little bit extra starter fertilizer. And since I'm leaving now, I'm gonna take with this seed tender because we are gonna use it for whenever we plant peanuts. We have Hydrohuman here, and then in that green seed tender and the other one that we have, we're gonna put the peanut seed in. So I'll take this guy back with me, and we'll see you guys another day whenever we start putting the planters back together, whenever they bring them over there anyway. Well, it's been now a few days. Didn't get a chance to film how we hauled the planters out here, but I guess maybe next year, maybe then I'll film it if I ever get a chance. But today now we're out here, we're gonna start planting some peanuts. They switched over the planters to peanuts 2 days ago, I believe, so it should be all ready to go. I'm just finishing greasing up everything, greasing all these Zerks back here, the hitch, and then the front independent suspension, making sure that is greased. And then there's this one broken one that we gotta fix for the row cleaners. We don't need them for peanuts, but you don't want it to be hanging down like that, so that's the only thing we gotta fix on this planter. And then just to fill up with peanut seed, and then also I need to fill up on Hydrohuman, I believe. Yep, running a little bit low, so definitely gotta fill up on that. Also fill up on the inoculant in the front. Then we should be good to go. Well, we're off and we're planting peanuts. I just barely walked outside and checked the depth, made sure it was looking good, and it looks good to me. And we're off. With peanuts, you'll definitely hear a lot more beeping because the seeds are very inconsistent in size, so sometimes they'll plant way more and way less, so it's very up and down, so it gets very nosy in here with peanuts. But I love it. We have our beautiful beds, planting on beautiful beds, so now It's all raised up a little bit. You love to see it. And not to mention, we do have mile-long rows. And with the benefit of our planter box extensions, we can now actually make one full round. Last year, without the extensions, we could just make it from this end to that end, and then we were out of seed. Well, we could have gone like halfway back, maybe a little less, but then you're stuck in the middle of the field and you have to drive all the way to the end of the field empty-handed, and then drive back to the field where you left off, lay down your planter, and then continue planting. So that was just very inconvenient, so we just filled up on both sides. Now we don't have to. Now with these extensions, we can make one full round and have still a little bit of seed left over. So we're golden. This is gonna be way easier than last year. We don't have to have a seed tender on this side of the field and then another one on that side of the field. So this is gonna be nice. I'm gonna like this. Didn't even make one full round and I already have a bearing out on my packing wheel. So for now it's okay. It's still doing a good job for this last couple 100 yards, but once I get to the end, I'll have to fix the bearing first and also fill up seed. And as luck would have it, planter's broken down again, right as the day we switch over to peanuts. Well, we planted one circle of peanuts yesterday, or they finished yesterday, and they just were doing with one planter because they're finished setting up that one. But this is the first field that planter is actually planting peanuts, and it's broken. So yay for that. And we finally figured out the problem with the other planter. Right there where it folds up, there's wires that lead to those other 4 units at the end, and I guess with the unfolding and folding, it kind of got crimped in between a bracket there, snipped a few wires, so that's why it's not working. So John Deere's on their way over. They're gonna come fix it here shortly, and then hopefully that planter will now be back up and running, but you never know until you find out. And he's back up and running. We're just about done with this field. We have about 60 acres left to go, about 30 acres for each planter. So we don't need a full tank of fertilizer in the front. Plus, you know, we also put that inoculant in there, and if you leave a little bit in there overnight, it kind of goes bad. It has like some living organisms or some weird stuff in there that it basically deactivates if you wait too long. So I only filled up half a tank, enough for 30 acres. So did the other planter, and we should be good to go. And if you're wondering what that guy's doing, he is rod weeding. He is getting rid of any other weeds that could potentially be there right before we plant. Benefits 2 things: gets rid of weeds and lowers the beds just a little bit, rounds them off on top, makes them a little bit cleaner for whenever we're planting peanuts. It makes the rows look a little bit better. If they're too tall, then the row units kind of like squish down on the bed and they kind of plant in a valley on top of the rows. So that's not what we want. So for a while it's nice having the tall beds so that it doesn't blow sand and dust everywhere. And then right before we plant, then we just quickly run that over it, and it still leaves big clumps everywhere because we watered right before. So then this way it won't blow, or it shouldn't blow because of all the big clumps and because it's wet. But then this way we also get a little bit better looking beds, or something that works a little bit better for planting. Plus it's nicer because the peanuts, the more ground contact they have, the more pegs and more peanuts they will make, because that's where peanuts grow. They grow underneath the ground. So if there's no ground contact, then they don't really grow. How dare you go faster than me? And we're done here. Just got here to the shop. This is where we're gonna park them for now until Monday. And until then, we'll wait till Monday and continue planting peanuts then. There's a slight chance of rain on Sunday tomorrow with hail. So fingers crossed and hope that it's not gonna be any hail. But as for now, as always, I do appreciate y'all for watching. And I will see y'all guys in the next video.